All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, most important questions in all of real estate. Doesn't matter if you're buying, selling, investing, or just curious. Everything starts with this one question. It's the question, right? The one that kicks off the entire journey. But getting an answer you can actually trust? Well, that's a whole different story. Are you getting a wild guess or a number you can take to the bank? You see, on one side, you've got that instant online number. It's fast, but it's basically a black box. And on the other, you've got a value that's built on actual evidence, on human know-how, and on the real-world condition of your property. And let me tell you, the difference between those two can be huge. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. So how do we get from one to the other? Well, you can think of it like climbing a ladder. There are four main rungs, and with each step you take, you get more detail, more confidence, and just a more solid answer. So let's start at the very bottom and work our way up. The first rung is the AVM, the Automated Valuation Model. You know these. This is your Zestimate, your online calculator. It's super fast, it's free, and, it's great for a quick gut check. But here's the massive catch. An AVM has never been inside your house. It has no idea you just renovated the kitchen or that the roof is on its last legs. It is completely blind to the property's actual condition. So let's move one step up the ladder to the CMA, or comparative market analysis. Now we're talking, because a human expert finally enters the picture. A real estate agent will pull recent sales of similar homes, we call them comps, to give you a pricing guide. It's a big improvement over just an algorithm, for sure, but it's still pretty informal. It's often light on the nitty-gritty details and is mostly designed to help you pick a listing price. Next up, we have the BPO, the broker price opinion. Now think of this as the perfect bridge. It sits right between that quick analysis and a full-blown appraisal. This is a much more structured report from a licensed broker, and it usually includes photos and detailed notes on the home's condition. It's really designed to give you that sweet spot, a balance of speed, cost, and some serious detail. And that brings us to the very top of the ladder, the licensed appraisal. This, my friends, is the gold standard. It's a legally defensible document created by a state-licensed appraiser who has to follow super strict national standards. This is the one that lenders demand before they'll give you a mortgage, because it offers the highest level of credibility and legal protection. It's not just an opinion, it's a formal, buttoned-up valuation. This table just lays it all out so clearly. You see the pattern here, right? As you move from the AVM down to the appraisal, sure, the cost and the time it takes go up. But in exchange, you get a massive leap in the level of detail, the hands-on expertise, and whether someone has actually physically inspected the property. It's a classic trade-off between speed and certainty. And the key is just picking the right tool for the job you need to do. Okay, so to really understand how these reports go from just a pile of data to a final price, let's crack one open and see what's inside. We're going to take a look at the BPO because it does such a great job of combining elements from both the simple and the really complex methods. A good BPO isn't just one document. It's actually a package of 3 separate reports that all work together. It's a deep dive into the property itself, the market it sits in, and then the comparable sales data. It all comes together to paint a really complete picture of its value. First up is the PDR, the Property Data Report. I call this the reality check. This is where you get recent photos, detailed notes on the home's condition, from the foundation all the way up to the roof. It'll point out any maintenance that's been put off and even estimate repair costs. This right here is how a BPO avoids the biggest flaw of an AVM. It grounds the entire valuation in the physical reality of the house as it stands today. Next, you've got the MR, the Market Analysis Report. This piece gives you the crucial context. Are prices in this neighborhood going up, down, or are they flat? Is there a ton of inventory, or is it a seller's market? This section answers all that. You could have 2 identical houses, but if one's in a hot, up-and-coming area and the other's in a cooling market, their values could be wildly different. The MR is what captures those outside forces. And finally, all this hard work culminates in the CMA portion of the report. This is where the rubber meets the road and the numbers come together. It's a detailed grid of similar properties that have sold, but, and this is important, with careful adjustments made for differences in size, condition, you name it. It gives you a final, clear, as-is value. And often it'll also include an after-repair value. It shows you what the home could be worth after you put in some work. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? You get the 2 things that matter most: hard evidence and a review by a human expert. And you get it all without the long wait and the high cost of a formal appraisal. That's the core value right there.
So now that we know the what, let's talk about the so what. I mean, who actually uses these tools and what problems are they solving?
It really boils down to four main groups that absolutely depend on getting an accurate valuation. You've got homeowners getting ready to sell, home buyers trying to make a smart offer, investors who are crunching the numbers on a deal, and then professionals like lawyers and accountants who need rock-solid figures for things like estates or divorces. And for every single one of these groups, having the right valuation tool is empowering. It completely changes the game. It moves you from anxiety and guesswork to confidence and strategy. A homeowner isn't just picking a price out of thin air, they have evidence. A buyer isn't just hoping they don't overpay, they have real negotiating power. It turns a stressful moment into a smart, calculated decision. So, with all this on the table, how in the world do you choose the right tool from the valuation toolbox? Let's recap the big takeaways. First, and most importantly, you've got to match the tool to the task. For a quick, back-of-the-napkin check, an AVM or a simple CMA is totally fine. For anything official, especially a mortgage, you absolutely, positively need a licensed appraisal. But for that giant space in between, like setting your list price, making an offer, or planning a renovation, a broker price opinion offers an incredible balance of speed, serious detail, and value. And that leaves us with one last question, which is really the only one that matters. Now that you understand the different tools in the toolbox, you can ask yourself, for the decision I'm facing right now, what level of certainty do I really need?